Hey everybody, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics. Anyway, just sorry my hair is kind of crazy, but I'm just waking up, having my bowl of coffee. And so I just kind of wanted to kind of touch on a couple topics because it's always interesting, when not that I know everything, but being a star kid, there are some things that that I know. And so we're having a conversation this morning about cattle mutilations with, typing back and forth with a friend of mine. And we're talking about there's a cattle mutilation that's in Argentina right now. And there was a security guard for some kind of organization. And then he was running through a field and one of these things popped up. And then there was these weird, like smoking hot rings, burned into the environment. So just kind of wanted to touch base about, animals or livestock. So extraterrestrials, been kind of implanting human women. They've been stealing, their eggs and male sperm. And they've been creating, hybrids for a long time. They've tried to introduce some of the hybrids onto the planet, but they're frail. A lot of them are pretty frail. And a lot of them look pretty strange. So, it's not easy to fit them in. So there's a couple things that I believe that are happening. One, they are messing around with genetics, trying to make alien, more human-like looking hybrids to take to the future, to repopulate Earth, because of some serious damage that happened to it in the past. We're on the point where it's going to happen or not. Number two, I think that they utilize for food source, because a lot of extraterrestrials eat humans, like cows. And the other thing too is that I think that they use them to create, new slave races for other planets. So one of the things that has happened is since, women have been allowed to have abortions on the planet, it makes it pretty difficult for extraterrestrials, because they were using human women for a long time and, not always carrying to full term. We could say like the story of Mary and Jesus, Immaculate Conception. We could say that, Mary was implanted with an alien hybrid. Like people just can't really seem to put two and two together, can they? So, I'm sure that some, have come to full term in the past, some probably not. So number one reason I think that they really want to abolish, that religion has this thing that they're anti, abortion, is I think a lot of it has to do with the religion. But behind the religion is the extraterrestrials, and the extraterrestrials that they're protecting, like the Vatican, because they are serving them, and I think it's more than one extraterrestrial group. I think there's quite a few, and I think a lot of them have made hybrid humans. I believe that the white races, it says right in the Sumerian tablets that, were Anunnaki and human, so that they had people that could mine and do the slave work, because a lot of the indigenous people, you know, it's just really not their thing to be enslaved. And I mean, you can look and see what they've tried to do to indigenous people worldwide, and it hasn't really gone well. So they had to develop another type of humanoid that was competitive and greedy and cared only about itself, and likes to be awarded and rewarded, and trained to believe a god that's a reward punishment god to try to keep them in line. So I think there are lots of different races that have done hybrids. And so now this is what I believe. What I know is that the animals, I think that they started trying to use horses, and horses were really not that compatible with putting embryos, fertilized humanoid, human and human hybrid embryos in. Okay, look for part 2.